Hi there, and welcome to my sports world. Today we're gonna make the first video about the NBA team, Memphis Grizzlies. That's a team that I follow. I've been to their games in the FedEx Forum. Um, they have been my favorite NBA team for about 10, 11, 12 years now. So I wasn't very big on the NBA before I started going to the games. And when I was a little kid, I always looked up to like the Bulls and Michael Jordan and stuff like that. But so I followed it a little bit, but never like with a big interest. But that changed 10, 12 years ago. So what is this video going to be about? Well, this is just an introduction to the channel. We're going to look at when do the preseason start, who do we play, when do the regular season start, and what am I looking forward to. So we play. We start playing the first preseason game on October 7th, and we end on October 15th. So about a week, right above a week with the games in it. And we play teams like Hornets, Hawks, Pistons, Pacers, and Bulls. So that's a good matchup as a preseason. Don't expect like the first team to play all these games for any long duration. This is a preseason is to like get a feel for where the players are. You want to see how your new draft picks went. You want to see how new signed players have settled in. How do they how is the match between old players, new players, the chemistry between them. So it's games to find out a lot of things before the regular season start. The regular season starts on October 20th, and where we open up against the Cavaliers. That can be an open game, and it's a game we should win and we should dominate. But for some reason, anything is possible in the NBA. We have seen that over the years, but on paper, traditionally, we have had a good hold on the Cavaliers. And with the team that we've had for a couple of years in the making now, after we started the rebuild, we got rid of a lot of the old veterans that we loved so much, like Marc Gasol, Conley, Allen went. There's been gradually old guys moving along. Sibo went. And it's like, so when I started watching the Grizzlies, we had a very good team. We went to the playoffs more or less every year, and we had this core of players that was like really good and really really tight. Conley, Zebo, Marc Gasol, Lee, Allen, and a lot of players that really came together as a unit. The Grizzlies, as long as I've been around them here, has never had that flashy, big, super mega star. Like we don't have a LeBron James, we don't have a Michael Jordan, we don't have Kobe Bryant type of players. We have players that are grinding it out, and that's why the Memphis Grizzlies basketball has become a staple with grit and grind. We are a grinding team. We are a team that really dig down and try to play as a unit. We never had a superstar, a megastar player in this team. Probably the closest you came to that was Zebo or Conley, maybe Marc Gasol, but none of them were like hyperstars, still like in the class of LeBron, popular wise. I'm not saying that LeBron is any good. He's not. So we have, and October 7th is right around the corner. And I normally follow the preseason because it gives you a sign, it gives you an indication on where this team is and where we possible to go. Last year we had kind of like a disappointing season, I think. But the last 2 years, the NBA has been kind of disrupted with COVID. It is one of those sports that really took the biggest hit. Football, yeah, soccer had a 3 months in the beginning, had like a 3 or 4 month break was no soccer at all, and then they came back and there was no spectators or people in the stands, and it was kind of like weird to look at the soccer games on TV. And then you have the American football, which was the same. No spectators on the in the stadiums. But they managed to squeak through with a season, and they managed to squeak through a full season. So that was positive. NBA, they were weird because when COVID hit, the first COVID, when it hit back in 2020, it hit at a point in time where American football had already, there was an off season. So they had the Super Bowl right when the COVID started to break out, but the Super Bowl went through, and that's early February, and so the American football had like an off season until September. So the only thing that got really affected for the football was like the OTA and the preseason and the training camps and stuff like that. So the quality of football was maybe not there, and we see it lingering this season. I think it will take a couple of seasons before we're back up to full speed on everything. The same happened with soccer. So in soccer, because soccer was like, I want to say soccer and probably hockey and basketball were the ones that took the biggest hit because it was in the middle of their season. Early February for NBA. That's before the All-Star game. An All-Star game is kind of like the midway point. So then they went into a bubble, and it became just weird. And then the next season, they started late. I think they started in December or January, 2-3 months late, and they had a so-called a mini season with less games. It just felt weird, and there was no people in the stands. And then I think the basketball for a lot of fans took a big hit. The football, the soccer, as you call it here, yeah, they had a break. I think they played until like first or second week of March. Then they took a break off, I think it was, and then they came back. I think they took a 2 months break, so they came back in late April, early May, because it was like first week of March. I think that they just shut it down, and they came back first week of May, last week of April, something like that. To finish the season, and then the year after, which was the last season, was like without any people in the stands on the stadiums. Here we go again. I am so tired of this. I have to find a new corner. So the soccer, the way they paid the price was in soccer, the home field advantage is it's not because of your home field. It's because of your fans and the noise and the atmosphere and the pressure. So when you go to places to play a soccer game, and when you go there and there is like no fans, the kind of like the home field advantage goes away. So hockey, I didn't follow too closely what they did, but I think that they did the same thing. No people in the stands. I think they had a shortened season and then an amputated season after that. But it seemed that it flowed in a certain way. Let's get back to the basketball and the Grizzlies. During the COVID, we had no people in the stands here in the FedEx Forum, and it was sad to see the games on TV. It was so lackluster, It was so. It was just so sad. And I'll go in. So this year I have way more expectations. So when I said let's look at the preseason, let's look at when the regular season starts, and what do I expect from it? What do I expect from the Memphis Grizzlies this year? What do I expect from the NBA this year? I expect to see full rocking houses again. I mean, 18,500 to 19,000 people in the FedEx Forum, going crazy when the Grit and Grind team comes out and put on a show. Let's help these guys back to the playoffs. We deserve to go to the playoffs this year. We really have a good enough team for that. Can we go all the way and win? I doubt it, but we can probably go for a run in the playoffs. How far we go? Quarterfinals, semifinals, maybe, if we're lucky. Because we have a good team now. We are building a good team. The last 2 years, the draft picks that we did the last 2 years has come out really, really good. I like it. Like Brooks and Yamarant and Jaren Jackson and a couple of others that has been pivotal last year and the year before are now starting to become third-year people and second-year people. And I also have an expectation, and I'm looking forward to see the new draft pick this year, our first rounder, 10th pick overall, Zaire Williams. I have to say I'm looking forward to see what he can bring. He was very promising in college, and went high in the draft. I think we even trade up for him, or did we just stay there? No, I think we traded up. So because I think originally we were number 17 or something like that. I think. I don't remember, but I think it was something like that. We originally was going to pick somewhere between around 17 to 20 somewhere, and I think we traded up to go to 10, and we picked Zaire Williams. If I remember correctly, I think he's a small forward. So I'm looking forward to see him, how he integrates with the team. And we also have done some trades and signings in the off season. We have made a change in guard position, and we have acquired Adams, who has a lot of experience and is still rather good. Wait. We used to have Marc Gasol in that place, and it wasn't the same after Marc Gasol left. He had the soul, he had the persona, he was a Grizzlies. And this is, this might seem a little bit, or sound a little bit cliche, but, in every sport, in every team, in every era, there is a player that you could say, he was Mr. So-and-so. Let's say, when you look at the Bulls, you had several of them. Pippen, and Michael Jordan, and Rodman. So, those three, they were Mr. Bulls. All of them. But Michael Jordan, the biggest one, of course, he was Mr. Bulls. And he had this, he was a Bulls guy, and he has that legend status with the Bulls. And you could say the same for Marc Gasol at the Grizzlies. We acquired him back in 2008, and he gave his career here. We traded him for a few years ago, but he is and will always be Mr. Grizzlies. The same with Zebo, the same with Allen, the same with Conley. Those guys are Mr. Grizzlies because they have that connection to the club. They have that they have that position with the fans. They have that position with the club. They are legends of the club. They are the franchise, the faces of the franchise. They kind of are the guys who put this franchise, this era on the map. They are the ones who kind of did a lot of things for the club in this era between 2010 and 2015, 16, 17, but so and you have all of those, and then of course you have all the floaters, the ones that jumps from team to team to team, but it is Charles Barkley, for me, he will always be Mr. Suns, so there's and if you look at right now, every team now, right now, or the last 2 or 3 years, have their players that are this is our franchise players. This is the face of the club. This is the face of the team. These are the players that the fans really navigate around. So if you want to be proud of your team, these are the players you emphasize on. I'm going to have my green tea with some herb in it. And I see that, the new generation that is coming in. And this is what I'm most looking for. Who in the Grizzlies are going to establish themselves as the new, Zebo, Marc Gasol, Conley. And I see Brooks and Jackson and Morant. Those three can become these people. And I think that Zaire Williams also, with time, if he hits the nail on the head, can also become the new Mr. Grizzlies. But of course, it's going to take time. That's not something that happens overnight. We see Ja Morant is starting to get that status right now, and he's been there for like 2 or 3 years. He's now starting to get that. Jackson is also on that path. So we have at least 2 players right now that are solidifying their legacy with the Grizzlies, if that's what you want to see. So I want to see that too. It's not just about winning. It's not just about creating a team. It's how you create the team. How do the team operate as a unit? How do the personalities fit this team? Do they fit the grit and grind? Do they fit the city? Do they fit how we want our team to look like? Because and we will get the answer this year, because last year it was the 2 seasons where COVID was running rampage and just destroyed sports. I really didn't see much of it because the atmosphere was gone, and the players are the ones who, together with the fans, are creating the atmosphere. So without the one or the other, without the players, there's no atmosphere to have. Without the fans, you have no atmosphere. So these 2 groups feed off of each other. And I want to see that rebuilt. I want to see that. I want to feel it. I want to hear it. And I want to see that the players are taking that seriously and grab it and bring it to their hearts and embrace it. And I want to see fans going nuts again. I want to see the yellow towels, swivel in the air and all that stuff. And I just want things to go back to where it was, awesome, So that's why I'm looking forward to this season, because I want to see how the players are responding to now getting a full 18,500 to 19,000 people inside the FedEx Forum. And I want to see how they respond to, maybe less restrictions. There's probably still be testings and mask mandates and all that shit. But, how do the players now react to a little bit more normalized situation? Because the last 2 years has been really stiff. Really, it's been really weird. Both, not just in NBA and basketball, hockey. I follow hockey a little bit. I have a couple of teams I follow. And soccer and NFL and all that stuff, It's been so sterile and so bad. So I just want things to become going more and more back to normal. I think we all do, but so yeah, let's look at how the Memphis Grizzlies are doing in the preseason games, and then on the October 20th. They start the regular season against the Cavaliers. So good luck, Grizzlies, and go out and make some shockwaves and take the NBA 2021-2022 season with storm. And let's go and fight for that playoff spot that I think and know we can have. So let's go, Grizzlies. Come on.